So I don't know who's paying for her hospital visit, frankly.
Truly,
But
truly.
since she solved the case, I think it would be really shitty of them to charge her, frankly.
Ellison is like, oh yeah, this was Mr. Ivy League's idea. So he's more of
Yeah.
a
Of the
working
streets.
class doctor. Yeah, that's a thing.
Working class doctor. It's my favorite Bob Dylan song. Meanwhile, don't
So,
these doctors have rounds? Where
well,
there's
people here are
he's-
dying.
I hate to say it, but kind of a filler
I
episode.
was gonna say filler too, just like
Yeah.
Dr. Ellison's face.
They're so rude. Such a bitch.
Tonight on Murder, She Wrote.
Yeah,
This
that's
is Victor
it.
Devon,
This is Petrified,
and this
and
is
this is Tonight
Tonight on
on Murder, She
Murder, She
Wrote.
Wrote. Delightful.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. This is Armed
Tonight.
Response. This is a good one.
Oh, you think it's a good one, eh?
Oh, I love this one. Do you not like this one?
I hated it.
Really?
Yes. So this will be a good conversation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, this is one of my favorites,
Fascinating.
actually.
Really? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and I think possibly because I love Martha Raye. So Martha Raye has a supporting role here
Sure.
as um her name escapes me at the moment.
It is Sadie Winthrop.
Sadie
Sadie
Winthrop.
Winthrop. Yeah.
And so I'm a big fan of Martha Raye from both her vaudeville beginnings to her work in the 1985 Alice in Wonderland, which is how I first came across
Sure.
her. Her work with Carol Burnett and Julie Andrews. She's a legend.
She's got
And
a
so
fun
I'm
little
happy
bit
that
in
she's
this.
there.
Yeah.
I'm happy that she's
Yeah.
there. And this is also like when she was dealing with a lot of medical stuff. Like, so she has a whole like tragic final chapter of her life, the
Oof.
actress's life. So, um, but I find
So,
this to be an interesting one too because I think it's a bit clever in how they determine the wrongdoing. I liked that. What don't you like
mm,
about this?
um, and maybe it was just the mood I was in when I rewatched it, but I
No,
barely
you're well.
remembered. I barely remembered anything. And then when I watched it, I just thought it was a bore.
Uh,
I kept trying to, before we record, I always sort of whittle down, or I'll give myself a little pep talk about like, okay, what's the plot? Who did what? What are the critical things? And I was like, well, this happened, and then it was over. And I guess I just had a lot of trouble holding on to anything that was worth holding on to.
okay.
Maybe I can dig in more as we get going, but a great place to start is this caricature of a Texan lawyer at the beginning.
Yeah. He's also one of Blanche's beaux from the Golden Girls. So we have our
Sure is.
first crossover here. It is reputable but non-ethical lawyer, Milton Porter, uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
as played by
Yeah.
Kevin McCarthy. What I like about this moment here is that we talk about how we talked the last episode actually about how Jessica should be going court to court to court as a witness. And that's actually what she's doing here.
I
She's
mean, we have given her some plausibility, so I appreciate that. I do. I do.
Now we don't get any court scenes with her, but that is
No.
actually why she is in town
Yeah.
to even get her in this place where she gets
Uh-huh.
stuck, as it were.
Yeah. Well, so
Um,
but the case that she's speaking at or testifying for, it's
this
not
is
one
not
of
one
the
of her
murders
cases.
we've
I
seen.
know, I
So I'm
know.
like, there were so many opportunities here. Why couldn't we? I guess they didn't want to put her back in the same location as before, maybe.
I think, well, I mean, and that would have been cool, but I think one of the reasons they may have also chosen not to do that is because she's delayed, and it kind of has to
Hmm.
be like a non-vital crime
Yeah.
someone's being charged with because
Yeah.
she's just broken her leg right now.
Yeah.
Like we
Yeah.
are 3 minutes in, and she's
Hmm.
fallen outside the airport and has broken a bone
I think
or
it's a
her
toe.
ankle.
She's broken a toe,
Is
right?
it
Didn't they
just a
say a
toe? Because they
phalange
go,
or a meta?
I
No,
thought
wait, was it a? They say later, I guess, but
metatarsal.
um. So that's gonna be so in your hands you have your metatarsal. Your phalanges are the furthest out. right? So those are the
Okay.
actual toes and fingers. So it would be one of the steps in there.
Okay, so
Boy,
maybe
I'm
it's just
full
her
of medical
ankle.
terminology here. Uh, she broke something in her foot. That's what we know.
Yeah, there. Yeah, IMDb off the top of its head says ankle, so unfortunately, fifth metatarsal.
Fifth minute. So that's the outside.
The break is very,
Dang.
but they give her this cast that like goes up to her
I
knee.
know. See, okay, that's another thing that pissed me off a bit.
Is that
She
not?
she really doesn't need to be there, honestly. Everything that they tell us is like, this is a pretty minor break. We're gonna give you a giant cast and you're gonna be here for days. Like, no, no, no. So it never happened.
I mean, it might because we've seen crooked doctors before, and we'll see them again, where like these private facilities really gouge the fuck out of their
Yes.
patients. This is for rich people who have problems.
Hmm.
Um, and we meet Garver, who is
He's the
the, I
head
guess that,
doctor.
yeah. And then we have these two lower level doctors, Ellison and Kenyon,
Hmm.
that are rough with each other. They know one of them is going to get fired because of
Yeah.
some reason.
Yeah.
And Garver keeps screwing with them to basically
Hmm.
dangle it in front of both of them,
Hmm.
and they don't seem to like each other.
Here you have Dr.
Uh,
Ellison plastering up her foot,
her leg,
and she,
again, it goes all the
well,
way up to her calf.
no, that's salacious. Uh,
Well,
what is this
as we
moment where
as we
she
know
like
from as we
clocks?
know so we know from positive moves, she's no stranger to showing off those toes.
I mean, Murder She Wrote is in fact a foot fetish pot. Um, there's Martha Raye. Hey,
So
Martha.
sorry, what was this moment you said? The whole thing with
Oh,
Chicago?
she says something about this Dr. Ellison's Chicago accent, and he gets really closed mouth all of a sudden and weird about it. But that never comes back later. Like usually that's like an observation that means something, but it doesn't mean anything in this case. Did you notice
My
that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess my estimation is it's sort of, I don't know. I got sort of like a class issue there, almost like it's like he worked his way up from
Oh,
like the ghettos of Chicago, which in
okay.
today's terms is sort of like, what are you talking about?
That's valid.
But I don't know. I feel like there's, yeah, you're right. There's more information there. We're learning these people. They're a little edgy.
Hmm.
She's observant.
Right.
Yeah.
I would like to get a shout out to these nurses who, with their little paper hats looking cute as can be.
Buttons.
We have Nurse Marge Horton. She's the older one, and then Nurse Jenny Wells. She's the younger one. She is teeny tiny. That is a small
Yeah.
human being. She is just as
Very,
petite
very
as can be.
petite.
Yeah.
Susan
They
Oliver,
both look like they could be related, don't they?
they do have similar features, yeah.
So this
Um,
blonde, petite, very beautiful.
Su
Yeah.
Susan Oliver we'll see again in the Jessica Behind Bars episode. She is
Mm.
one of the inmates. Uh,
Oh
and
yeah.
yeah, she's
Oh my
Louise in
gosh.
that. Yeah. And Kay Lenz are Jenny Wells is sort of like the up and comer ingenue who has already
Hmm.
tried to say something to Garver about another patient, and he's basically like, "Don't tell me how to treat my patients."
Oh yeah. Yeah. He's not. Dr. Garver does not like Nurse Jenny Wells.
No,
In fact, he's
she's
quite a
too
dick.
involved. But we
Um,
did have that moment earlier with Sadie real quick. Martha Raye came in, also injured in some variety in the leg area.
mhm.
Martha Raye may have also been, since she had a lot of health problems, she may have actually been hired because she w used a wheelchair at this point in her
Oh,
life.
well, we know that
Um,
Angela Lansbury, she liked to hire her friends and colleagues
mhm.
who were in certain financial situations or need of health care, and they had to work to maintain their union status,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, and
Well,
so that may be a great example of that. We don't know for
she
sure,
would
obviously.
eventually lose a leg to, I believe, diabetes. Um,
Oh, dear.
and she married a gay man who wanted her money, and the estate contested. Like, there's this whole like thing. She
Well,
sued Bette Midler because Bette Midler made the movie For the Boys, and she thought that was based on her life. Uh,
oh wow.
yeah, there's lore.
She's a that's a tumultuous sort of existence there.
And
Oh,
all the
best.
while she's pitching denture cream or denture adhesive.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Um, Meanwhile, we just passed what I found to be the most delightful scene of this episode, which is Jessica scratching under
The
her cast
inside.
immediately after she's alone. Did we mention that this hospital is a hospital for rich people? I'm not sure if we
Yes.
mentioned that. We did.
Yes.
Okay, yes.
Pampered rich people who think they have problems or just want to
Yeah.
feel taken care of.
Yeah. Scene
Just one
switch. Now
moment for
we're in
this. For Garver's house.
we're at Garver's house now, where he's having a posh party with lots of rich people. And okay, here's another gripe I have. These
Uh-huh.
two absolutely useless characters. They just take up time and space. They do nothing.
Again, I feel like they help provide the type of clientele they're telling us about the
Sure,
hospital.
sure.
Now, it's interesting, they're telling us about the hospital without Jessica. This is actually one of
Yeah.
those important scenes that Jessica's not at,
Hmm.
which doesn't happen a lot because usually Jessica is our eyes. So for
Yeah,
her to have miss all this information is interesting.
she's busy scratching her leg. And these people are having drinks at a nice party. So the ones I'm talking about for those listening are characters called Billy Don Baker and Melanie Baker, and they're just obnoxious rich people.
Yeah, they are.
That's it.
She's
There's
wearing a
nothing more to
couch.
tell.
Like she's all
I love her style. She
I
looks
love it.
great.
Those gigantic
It's a
poof.
delight. Yeah. Oh, we're back in the hospital. With the nurse just called to talk to the doctor, and he was like, "This fucking bitch won't leave me alone."
Wow.
But did you see the cute little ascot she was wearing on her nurse
Uh-huh.
uniform? I was like, "Oh, what a
What
treat!"
era is this? What
She got prettied up for work.
this is
What is
1985?
what are these uniforms? These are not from the bulk supply store. Okay, these are custom.
But this again, I think it tells you that he wants the people to get an experience when they're
Hmm.
there. Like this is
Yeah,
meant to be sort of like this weird moment in time.
yeah. Meanwhile,
Uh,
look at that dirty carpet.
well, no, well, I wouldn't
Oh,
say
look.
dirty.
Eddie Bracken has just shown up and as another patient playing Barney Ogden, who
Yes.
also doesn't do anything in this episode.
Um, Not a lot. Yeah, he's there's something wrong with him. He's featuring some malaise,
Yeah.
basically. And he doesn't know what's wrong with him, why he's at the hospital because basically there's nothing better to do and he has nothing else to do, but something clearly is wrong. But
Something
it
is
seems to
wrong.
be a mental issue.
Well, and I wasn't sure if they were trying to tell us that he was having some sort of like psychosis
Yeah, I think so.
or if he was just feeling unwell. I don't know. It wasn't really clear. But I suppose that does tell the story of like rich people think something's wrong when they're perfectly fine and they should just go for a walk or something.
Well, I
Um,
think also because he's the one that Nurse Wells is hoping to get looked at in a different way.
hmm.
So it seems to me that Garver doesn't look at the
Oh,
mentality.
I see.
Garver's
She's
just
calling about him.
treating, yeah, yeah. She has
Yeah.
there are two specific points for Sadie. She's
Hmm.
necessary for some levity. She's also not necessary for one of the clue trapping moments because one of the she's involved in one of the orders that shows who could have been where at what time.
Yeah.
That's very important. And he is sort of like her foil as well because they have some good banter back and forth.
Hmm.
But it shows like that this place, which is really not about care, and it seems to treat
No.
the wealthy bakers a little bit more and uh, give them sort of special treatment and sort of ignore the other aspects of the older
Yeah.
people. I
Yeah.
don't know. I think it's an interesting commentary on how older people are treated also in the medical industry.
That's fair. I mean, even though Barry Ogden is rich, he's not getting the care he deserves. So,
Right, right. And they're letting him just spend money. being there watching TV.
There's a lot of like capitalistic greed in this episode, right? Like the Texas
Yeah.
lawyer. Oh, by the way, we missed a bunch.
Well, did we?
Not really. Um,
Garver's dead.
well, so back at the hospital, Jessica went to get a cup of tea and they were like, "Why are you out of bed?" And then she hears this fight between the two younger doctors, basically talking to each other through the door. She hears
Just
them
bitching.
arguing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and then there was a little scene where Dr. Sam Garver's security alarm went off or something, and so a security
Hmm.
guard goes to his house and finds him dead in a koi pond pool.
In a koi pond pool, which, of
Yeah.
course, as we know, koi pond pool probably changed the time of death because
Hmm.
we do that with our heated pools.
Yeah,
We've already addressed that in our football episode,
that's true. And also, like a koi pond pool, what a rich way to go. Nicely
right?
done. Yeah.
But gunshots were heard, so
Yeah. Yeah.
at a very specific time, and the security guard saw Jenny Wells, our young ingenue nurse, leaving the scene
Hmm.
in her car.
But she
Um,
didn't seem in her yellow beetle, which was
yes.
cute as can be. It was perfect for little petite Jenny Wells.
It just places her at the scene. It doesn't necessarily mean she was
Yeah.
involved at all, but it places
Yeah.
her at the scene. And uh, those arguments, that argument between Ellison and Baker? No.
Were they Dr.
What's the other Dr.
Ray Kenyon,
Kenyon?
Kenyon, Dr.
Kenyon.
Kenyon.
Kenyon and Ellison. They get some privacy by
Yeah.
continuing their argument in a closed off room and
Hmm.
just keep yelling at each other.
Yeah. Oh. The folks at the hospital have just found out that Dr. Garver has been deaded. Uh,
Tenet.
and the older nurse, Nurse Horton, she is distraught about it. Did she have
She
a thing
is
for him?
wrecked. Yes, we
Yeah.
find that out that they had a
Yeah.
thing. And again,
Yeah.
it's another situation of like, why are these people like awful human being, pretty young thing? I mean, I know she's an older lady, but she's still like she's keeping it tight.
Oh, she looks
Uh,
good.
and she's
She's
so
doing
much
it.
better than him.
Yeah.
These women always go for these guys that look like feet. I don't get it.
And he really does look like a foot, Dr. Carver. Sorry about it, man. It's just not it. Meanwhile, look at Dr. Kenyon. He's a snack.
Do you like that? I think both doctors are very handsome. I
I
think
think they're
Kenyon and
good looking.
Hellison. Yeah.
Um, I think that Dr. Ellison looks like a young Ethan.
Ethan.
Ethan Show. Claude Hughes.
Oh, gotcha. Uh, we've now met the lieutenant, our detective on the
Or
scene,
yeah.
who immediately goes to Jessica, actually.
Hmm.
So it's unusual. Now we've gone right to Jessica to
Hmm.
say, I basically need your help.
This guy's been in a lot too. He's a good actor. He's American Graffiti, Midnight Express. Um, yeah, he doesn't. This is such a weird thing. Okay, there's another gripe. I'm gonna gripe.
Sure.
This character is senseless. It makes me so angry because he comes in and he says, "I need your help, Jessica. I need your help." And it's because I come from the other side of the tracks. I'm not used to dealing with rich people.
Fancy
But
folks.
then he takes none of her advice throughout the rest of the episode and just does his own thing. So why would he be asking for her for help if he's not going to listen to her?
Well, because we need some back and forth. Because
I
again, when has
guess.
Jessica ever gotten along perfectly with one of the
Yeah. I
detectives?
guess, yeah. I guess
But
it's
he does
strange that he
listen to
would come
her.
to her for help. That's like the first introduction they have,
Mm.
and then
Hmm.
he essentially just arrests whoever he wants.
Yeah. Well,
And
he's
also
a
he doesn't
cop. He
really
wants to
have
solve
a
it real quick.
personality. He's bland. He's like crispy cracker bland. It's just not for me.
Crispy cracker.
And he looks tired,
He looks exhausted.
doesn't he?
His suit is all
I
wrinkled.
know. Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, I think this is good storytelling. We
All
learn
right,
a
all
lot
right.
about this character by what they're giving us.
I mean, it seems to me he just doesn't want to do anything. He wants somebody else
Well,
to do
and
his
that's
work for him, and then when he gets like an easy
the
way out, he he, he arrests the easy way out. You know what I mean?
Well, that's kind of what police officers
I guess.
do. Like
I guess.
they found the most possible scenario and he doesn't want to
Yeah.
look any further.
Yeah.
But they're at the
At any
scene
rate,
and they are
they're at
like,
the scene.
okay, but the alarm was set. This is when it went off. Why were the keys outside? That doesn't make any sense. They're
That is
acknowledging that the
weird.
koi pond could have
That is
laid
careless.
into.
It's also this little koi pond is so teeny tiny. It
And
looks
where
like
are
a
the
hot
koi? Did they
tub.
take the fish out?
I don't know.
Did they take
I
them
don't
out?
know.
Because they were like, well, the dead
Oh,
body.
jeez. Maybe, maybe the fish ate the body and burst.
Now there's a twist.
That's the murder
There's
she
a
wrote I'm
twist.
here for. Are you kidding? Uh,
Uh,
I like how Jessica's up and about with her crutches and cast. That must
well,
have been
she's not
fun to
even
play for
convinced she
her.
needs to be here. She's
No,
still
she knows
like,
she doesn't need to be here. Now she's just
but
hanging around because she's curious about death.
that's true. She needs to stay here, and
Hmm.
she already like Porter, the lawyer, our unethical lawyer from the first part, has
Yeah.
already said that they're going to sue the airport for her fall, and that they're going to
Hmm.
pay for the medical bills, and so
Yeah.
that's all going to happen.
Yeah.
Uh, this is all his doing, really.
Yeah.
She could have
Yeah.
just gone to like a county hospital, but he immediately sent her to this wealthy treatment center,
Hmm.
basically. It's like a spa almost.
I would go there. I would hang out.
Sure.
Please hang out with Dr. Kenyon and have him massage my leg while he casts it up, please.
And it's very
Um,
similar. There's a future episode of Murder She Wrote where she actually she pretends she's somebody else when she goes and she says, I'm having the most disturbing pain.
Another
And it's
hospital episode.
another
Yeah.
where they're taking advantage of
Yeah.
people who they don't even know what's wrong with them.
I like that episode. I really
That's a
like
fun
that
one. That's a
episode.
fun
Yeah.
one.
I guess maybe I was also comparing this episode to that, and I think that's a stronger
Mm.
episode personally. So this just didn't deliver, I guess. Um, Dr. Kenyon is telling Jessica about how Dr. Sam Garver was pretty gross and had a lot of enemies. Of course, they always
Hmm.
do, right? They always have a lot of enemies, or they
Either
have a lot of money that people want.
sympathetic death or who wouldn't kill him. They
Yeah,
have to go in one of those directions.
yeah, yeah. Um, and we're learning this sort of thing about how he fires doctors and he's pitted. We'd said this earlier. He pits these two handsome young gentlemen against each other, and one of them theoretically is going to get let go or was going to
Right.
get let go.
Right.
Yeah.
Uh,
I also need to point out
so
that there was before they found out that Dr. Sam Garber was murdered, Jessica and Martha Raye were sitting at breakfast, served pancakes, and Martha Raye was served carrot juice instead of coffee because the doctor didn't want her to have coffee.
she's too active.
Yeah.
And
Carrot, good for
this
your
really
eyes.
looks venomous. Uh,
Uh, Carrot juice is underappreciated.
Barney, who is our uncertain psych ward
Hmm.
possibility. He just malaise. He's not disturbed per se, just something. He's just sad. He just seems
Yeah,
sad.
yeah.
And he
Me too,
has no
Barney.
family. He's already said like he's basically all by himself. This is the only place he can go where anybody even pays attention to him. Sort of
Oh,
rich, recluse almost. And he was rude to Jessica. He's already apologized, and Martha Raye has already like given him like tough love because
yeah,
she's suffers no fools.
right. I really like Eddie Bracken, and I'm a little disappointed that they gave him kind of a downer character when he's such like an energetic, um, lovely, upbeat presence in most
Mm,
things. So maybe I want more from him here, but I get what he's doing for the story.
yeah, folks may recognize him as Mr. Duncan from Home Alone 2 with the turtle doves in that toy store.
Hmm.
He's the important character in Home Alone 2. And he, of course, is in Golden Girls as Rose's old boyfriend,
Sure
who
is.
comes back to after being with the Spike Jones bands because somebody needs to go the woo
Buzz,
when he
Buzz, right?
Buzz. Everyone in his family is named Buzz. But he's been in a billion things too.
Yeah, totally.
Uh, but he's a song and dance man, sort of like
Hmm.
he reminds me a lot of Donald O'Connor, who appears
Yes,
also in
I
Murder She
agree.
Wrote.
I agree. Yep.
And
They should play brothers, honestly.
yeah, they may have actually. I
Yeah.
don't know enough of their early career,
Yeah.
but they're contemporaries, so it's not impossible.
Hmm. Oh, so the detective, is it Ray?
Yes,
Detective Ray, yes.
Ray
I like that
Jenkins.
name. Ray. Come on,
Ray
Ray.
Strong.
Yeah. He said that the security guard did see Dr. Jenny Wells
Nurse Jenny Wells.
and oh, sorry, Nurse Jenny Wells. And then Nurse Horton, the older one, said is certain that she did it, that she murdered this dude, and
She
that she
must
signed
have.
out of her shift or didn't sign out of her shift or whatever. And of course, she was murdering him. She is passionate.
Eh,
Okay, our Texas lawyer is back. I couldn't help but think that this guy, the archetype or the original model for him was Harry's disguise. Harry McGraw's disguise in the
Oh,
episode.
I wonder if it's
It's
the
like the
same hat.
same Texas character, right? Smooth talking, sleazy Texas businessman, lawyer, tomato, tomato.
He also reminds me of John Huston in the movie Myra Breckenridge. I don't know if you've ever seen
I have
it.
not seen it. No.
Oh, it is a trip and a half.
Okay.
But it's like this big it's Texas. It's like what you think of like
Mm-hmm.
Texas guy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but like suit, bow tie, and hat. You need the
The
hat.
little the little tassel bow tie, right?
Oh my God. Well, it's either
You
that or a what else would they have? One of those bolo ties?
hmm. You know, when I was a kid, my grandparents were farmers and ranchers, and they came
Mm.
from sort of rural America, and they would always dress us up in those types of clothes for special events. So everybody else is wearing, all these other little kids are wearing cute little suits, and we have these stupid little ties and like Western diamonds on our button-up shirts. It's ridiculous. I also had a
Well,
mullet as a
he's
kid, so
oh,
I
well,
know.
that's the era. That wasn't your fault. That was the
That's
80s.
true. Yeah. You know
80s
what?
and 90s.
I think time and fate said, "Oh, you're going to pay for that." And then they took all my hair away. That's why I'm bald.
But our lawyer here also is very foghorn leghorn. It's very
Hmm.
much like the prosecutor in My Cousin Vinny as well. You keep
Oh,
expecting him to say,
yeah.
"No, I'm not no big city lawyer."
That is him, isn't it? Oh God, it
It's
is.
very him. It's very
Yeah.
him.
Yeah. Yeah. Meanwhile, they're talking about shit and we don't really need to know any of it. None of it's
Well,
important.
Jessica's is asking him to also help out Jenny Wells, but
Yeah.
Jenny Wells is not affluent, so he's reticent, to say the least.
Well, Jessica is convinced that Jenny Wells is innocent. Meanwhile,
Of
they've had
course,
almost
because
no
she's the only one.
interaction.
He's the only one that she's connected to, or she's like, that's impossible. I don't.
Is she connected to her? She's not.
No, but they've had a scene where she's nice to her, and therefore, since she doesn't have like that niece or nephew or old
Yeah.
college friend, this has to be the person she's convinced
I,
didn't
you know
do
what I'm
it.
convinced of? That Jessica Fletcher is a parasite.
Yes,
And
yes,
she
she's a
finds
crisis
a
hound.
young, she really is.
Yes.
She loves the drama, manipulating everybody around her.
But Lieutenant Jenkins says, well, she's our best case, but if you
Hmm.
want to go talk to the neighbor who heard the shots, all right, we'll go ahead. We'll talk
Yeah,
to
this
the
is a good
delightful
investigation.
Mrs. Brindle, who I really love.
She's great. She's sort of our one scene wonder in this. I
I
think she
love
kind
it.
of over delivers when some of our other guest stars under deliver. But uh she's zany.
Yeah. We have the Bakers back.
Yeah.
I have to wonder if they are coded after somebody too. Like, I don't know if they're meant to be like Tammy Faye and what's his
Yeah.
name, but the fact that they're named Baker kind of makes me think that they might be.
I mean,
Sort
I
of
wouldn't
like
be
those
surprised.
socialite sort of situation.
I gotta tell you, when I watched this, I really thought and hoped that one of them would have been the killer.
If this was an Agatha Christie, it would have been.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely, because it would have been completely out of left
Yeah, yeah.
field.
Oh, here we have another scene with Dr. Ellison.
Ooh.
He's
That
kind of
chest hair
dreamy.
goes all the way up, doesn't it?
Right up there. Yep.
Right.
Bottom of that out Adam's apple.
That like
Um,
that chest hair like a shirt.
he has he had work done? Do you think his lips are done? Because they seem a little clay-like to me.
It's not impossible. He does
Can't
have
tell. This Val Kilmer look-alike.
it is very Val, yeah.
Yeah.
He almost to the like it's like pretty boy almost to the point of maybe he's like a one stage, two or three procedures to Mickey Rourke. Like it's
Yeah. Very
so it's
that.
possible. It is
Very
possible.
that. It's a rough face for me. It's a little too masculine, if you know what I mean. Like it's a little too like brick.
Rugged.
I like
Yes,
a pretty
he is a
boy.
brick. He is a
Yeah.
brick. But he's a
And
brick who's trying to be a pretty boy.
yeah. What was he just telling her? I didn't really pay attention. I lost it.
Oh, because
They were having a chat.
we were objectifying our male
Right?
characters.
As we are wont to do.
We're
Um,
hearing about how Garver he seemed tight with Garver, and that
oh yeah,
seems
yeah, yeah.
suspicious
Yeah.
to Jessica, and possibly a fallacy to sort of make him not a suspect.
hmm Well, Garver did these weird things where he would like invite one doctor to his party and then say, I'm gonna see the other one tomorrow. Have to be fair. Like real
Head
head game shit.
games,
Yeah. He's a terrible
absolutely.
person. Deserved to die. Let's be
Oh,
honest.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, we have a car scene here where they're going to meet Mrs. Brindle, the neighbor. Notice,
hmm
as always, there is no rear view mirror.
Oh my God, there's not. Oh
Yeah,
geez.
very frequently because it
You're
gets in the way
observant,
of
Devon.
shots.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing too because usually they remove those for on like
Yeah.
front on what do you call that? Oh no, okay, we do have some front scenes. Okay. Uh but
They
from
just
that
get in the
side
way.
view it was interesting.
It's so nice that they actually look like they're in a car though, right?
Right.
And
Let's
not,
see. Are
not
these
with a
those are
zooming
definitely
backdrop.
stunt people on scene, but
Uh-huh. Look at
this is
Garver's house.
a lovely
Wow.
estate. A
I
lovely
want that.
estate.
Yeah, goals.
And where are
Uh,
we again? Are we in Texas?
I don't know
Do
because
you
nobody
remember?
else is dressed like a Texas idiot.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me look at the
I
IMDb.
don't remember.
It just says at the airport.
Yeah, I don't remember. Let me see if there if it
Uh,
indicates where this was filmed.
yeah,
Um, okay, so they are at Garver's to check out the scene one more time. They're back
yeah.
at the koi pond where there again are no
No
koi.
koi. Maybe they grilled them up for dinner. I don't know.
They were traumatized. They're actually in witness protection because they
That's
may know
right.
too much.
They saw the murderer kidnap them. He's holding him hostage. Um, this little lanai too. How cute. I love a
Yeah.
party here.
So
Um,
they're in his office.
oh, did we mention that he had called and left a message for Nurse Horton about some instructions before he was murdered?
Yes.
Yeah,
Look at that like leather phone. What is that?
I've never seen anything like it.
It's like a leather casing for
It
one's
literally
phone.
is a leather phone. I
And
mean,
I can't tell
rich.
if it is or if it's just meant to look like that, but
I think it is a leather casing for a
that's
phone. It's
so funny.
gross, is what it is.
Yeah.
This is the last
Uh,
thing I want to hold up next to my chin.
alas, this was all filmed in Universal City in
Okay.
California, so I don't
All right.
know where it's meant to be off the
Sure.
top of my head. Let
Yeah.
me see if our friends at Murder She Blogged tells us.
Meanwhile, they're having a conversation about why would the body be moved if he was shot right after he was on his phone?
Hmm.
Because of the angle of the bullet, he was literally shot from his desk, sitting down, and then moved to the koi pond. Which did we ever get into why he was moved and not just left at his desk? I don't think there was a reason.
I believe to change the time of death.
That
Yeah.
okay, you got
Yeah,
me.
I believe it is. I
You got
believe
me,
it is to change
gal.
its time of death.
Yeah.
So Murder She Blogged, dear friend of the pod, because they are thorough and
hmm
bitchy and fun. If you're not familiar, folks, check out Murder She
hmm
Blogged. They say Texas, so there
Oh, they're in
probably
Texas.
are clues throughout. But I
Great
didn't
shout
look at the
out.
airport. I didn't look at the airport.
Yeah. Mercy Blog is a delight.
We have Mrs. Brindle here, who is our one scene wonder, the neighbor who heard the shots while watching a very loud television.
hmm She's watching Cops and Robbers. Good for
And
her.
she's convinced. Yeah, she's watching like in the heat of the night. Like, uh, she is convinced that they are actually game show. Like, let's what do you like a candid camera or like a
Yes.
where she has to get the trivia question right. I guess that
She's,
was a thing. Like,
I suppose, rich people with
and
nothing to do.
and she's showing a lot of leg for a lady of a certain age right there. All
I
right,
love her
Mrs.
dress.
Brindle.
Her dress is so cute. It looks like it has little candies on it. It's very sweet.
Candies are like planets.
Wait, can we go back to when she says, "Oh dear," when he says there were two shots, Mrs. Brindle.
It's like the other night. That's just what I heard.
I heard.
Okay, so she has kind of a southern accent.
It worked. That's right. I heard the shot. And now, do I win anything?
You heard two shot, one shot?
That's right.
I fired two shots.
Oh dear, I got it wrong. Inside the house,
Anyway, she has this
outside. The one outside was fired to mask the time of the death. The question is, who fired it? How many chances do I get?
She's lost her marbles. She's
Oh,
done.
it's fantastic. She's convinced that she must. I hope they give her
Uh-huh.
something. Give her something
Yeah.
for her time.
The gist is, the lesson we've learned is that the shot that she heard was a decoy shot fired outside of the house and has nothing to
Right.
do with the murder other than that.
Misdirection.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was not able to hear the actual shot that killed him.
Yeah.
So now Jessica has to go to I keep wanting to call her Louise, to the our older nurse, our
Horton.
matron. Horton, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because she also knows that since she took the death awfully hard, now we have to make sure we know that she was in
Mhm.
love
Oh, yeah.
with Mr. Garver, Dr. Garver.
This reminds me of that purser on the cruise ship who was like, I had to
Oh
get away
yeah.
from a bad relationship. They're kind of the
They
same
love this
character.
trope. They
Yeah.
love this trope.
They love to put a beautiful, lovely woman in this terrible
In this
pining place for a gross
duplicitous
man.
situation. Exactly. It'd be
Gross.
same thing with that episode with oh God, with the professor and it's
Oh, yeah.
Nettleman. Yeah, Lois Nettleman. Where she
Oh,
gets that great monologue.
yes.
Yeah. They love and these
Um,
men who don't deserve them ever do.
no, no. That poor college
And this is
kid. Yeah.
and she's in her 50s. Garver's probably in his 60s or early
Yeah.
70s. So it's not quite a
It's not a May
cross-generational
December.
relationship like they do.
No.
But they love
She's
doing
good in
that
this
too. They do
episode.
love doing that.
I like her in this episode. She's very engaged and has a cool intensity about her. She's good.
It's believable.
Yeah.
Very believable.
Yeah.
A lot of blush.
Where's her little ascot, I want to know.
She's the matron. She doesn't need one.
I guess. I guess. Fine. See, where have they just been called to? Oh, there was a tip that there's a gun in Nurse Jenny's locker.
Yeah.
And of course it is there. So,
And we had heard earlier that Ellison keeps a gun in his car to illustrate that
yes.
he must be possibly nefarious. Well,
Mhm.
we got the information from Kenyon.
Mhm.
I wonder if it's the same gun.
No.
It could be.
We'll let ballistics
Oh,
decide.
I love this line too. This is a great line from Jessica. Here we go.
Opportunity and now the means. We'll let ballistics decide if it's the murder weapon.
Well, of course it's the murder weapon. Whoever heard of framing anyone with the wrong gun?
Love it. What a great point.
She's not wrong. Like he's unfortunate. We don't really know what he's thinking either. Like he's just like, well, all right,
Yeah,
sure.
sure.
Oh, we have our Texas lawyer is back. Wait, which boyfriend did he play for Blanche? Was he the rich Texan?
He was the rich one who could never keep her first. His job came first, then the children.
Right.
I bet he proposes and she has to decline.
Took her on the
Yeah.
airplane. Right.
Yes.
That's right. Okay.
Yes. I love the way that ring looks on your face, on your finger.
Paisley bow tie now. Gross. Look at the cactus, the
Hey,
wooden cactus in the
you
back.
have
Love it.
such umbrage, Paisley. Uh,
Sorry. Um, so Jessica wants her lawyer friend to represent Jenny, and he's like, there's no money there, girl.
yeah.
I'm not representing her. But
But
and
Ellison
then
comes in and he says, this, "We're going as the hospital going to support
Kenyon.
her."
Kenyon.
Yeah. Oh, Kenyon. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I like this actor who plays Kenyon. I want to see what else he's in. He has
Well, it's
been
also it's interesting.
in.
He's basically acting like he's now in charge, which is an interesting consideration
Yeah.
when Ellison and Kenyon weren't sure who was going to
Mhm.
stick around.
It's not decided. He was a soap star, this guy. He was in Another
Yeah.
World for
Another world.
like 30 years. Wow. So he did this while he was working on that show.
Was he actually in it for 30 years,
Crazy.
or did Another World just last for 30 years? That's a
No,
long
it
time.
says okay, maybe I'm wrong. Let me just check. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm no, 1966 to 1999, 474 episodes.
Look at him.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. All right, we're back with our friends Barney and Martha Raye. I can't remember
Sadie.
her name. What is it?
Sadie.
Sadie.
Sexist Sadie. Yeah.
Barney and Sadie. I love this little muumuu she's wearing. Very cute.
Yes. Barney is happy. Look at the Rosie's
I know.
cheeks.
They're
She's
playing
brought it out of
cards.
him.
Yeah.
Jin.
Do you think they're gonna get it on?
Killing her. I think we're led to believe at the end of this episode. It's a shame that this is
Yeah.
their last piece of the episode because we're running out of
Uh-huh.
time.
Yeah.
But they are going to China together. They're going to or Hong Kong, I forget. They said specifically. But they're they're friendly now.
They're very sweet. They're gonna go to China together. Wow. They're gonna have some dim sum together and then
But this is
some
important too
D.
because and ooh, some dim sum from Barney. Uh Barney's like, nope, you got to give her that carrot juice. And we heard that that phone call message that Garver gave included giving Sadie carrot juice. So when did he leave that message so that she would be turned over to carrot juice?
Theoretically,
Hmm.
uh, they would have received it the morning after, but the nurse didn't receive that message until the afternoon. So somebody gave Sadie carrot juice.
Somebody.
Somebody knew the killer.
Hong Kong. Yeah, they're going to Hong Kong
Oh,
in a
okay.
month. In a month. How nice.
That's quick.
I know he
Hope it's
works fast.
good.
I mean, at that point,
Yeah.
you know what?
She got
Jump
to get
in.
out of her cast first. That's why they got to delay a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry,
Yeah,
Barney.
we don't get
You
into
can rub her feet.
specifics. We don't get into specifics what's particularly wrong with her, but clearly, oh no, she broke her leg while taking a Texas two-step. That's what it was.
Meanwhile, Jessica was pushed over by a child, so
He's delicate.
yes. The
Those
fall where Jessica
monsters,
gets pushed over is
those little monsters.
so passive. It's like, oh, I fell.
All right, we're in the big let's find out who did it scene
Yeah.
where all of the suspects,
Including the rich people, the
Mhm.
bakers are there. Why? I don't
Mrs.
know.
Baker is in this pink moo herself.
Uh-huh. This is very like, oh, it's kind of cute. Is she staying at the hospital for a treatment right
Yes.
now? Okay,
Yes.
that's it.
She's one of those ones, and they talk about this at the party where the bakers are bitching at each other, where she
Yeah,
keeps going. He's like, I keep spending lots of money on doing stuff that doesn't do anything. She's like, "What's my money?"
yeah. We're definitely in Texas because that rich guy is also done up like a rancher.
It's yeah, yeah, yeah,
We
yeah.
gotta be.
All right.
Yeah.
We gotta hear this banter between Jessica and Raye.
What are you doing?
It's so great.
Questioning Dr. Ellison.
I love when she's feisty.
Well, why are you questioning Dr. Ellison? Did you trace the gun to him?
Well, no, but
Oh, this is ridiculous. Lieutenant, may I please have private words with you? Excuse us.
So they go into that same room that Ellison and Kenyon argued in.
Uh-huh.
Lieutenant, what do you use for brains?
now wait a minute. The gun was your idea. You said it was Dr. Ellison's.
I said I heard Dr. Ellison kept a gun in his car. I didn't say this was his.
Well, you sure gave me that impression.
Well, did you run a trace on a possible permit?
They're
Did
all
you check gun
astounded.
registries throughout the state?
Ma'am, I know my job.
Do you?
I wonder.
You know the FBI has a central
She
file on
seemed
all
like such a
handguns.
sweet old gal.
It's so great. It's so great.
Doctor,
So they're
what's this all about?
fighting, just like Ellison and Kenyon did, which
Uh-huh.
tells us because Jessica comes around the corner.
A
They're
different
not actually in
direction.
the room, and the argument is still going on.
All right, Lieutenant. You can come out now. Not the old way,
And
Lieutenant, despite what you may
That's
think.
it.
Ray comes out with the
With
tape
a
recorder.
very nice tape recorder player. A product of its time.
Yeah, it's a proto boombox.
So the two doctors are looking a little nervous now because they fought in that room just like that.
Mhm.
Am I wrong? Or did we witness
And Marge, our nurse Horton, is like, we did hear an argument just like
Sure
that.
did.
What?
With all this hocus pocus.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
So-
don't these doctors have rounds? Where
Well, people here are
There's-
dying, and not the doctors.
Time just stands still for all these
I
theatrics,
guess.
Jessica.
I mean, why don't we have more people there to like watch the scene? We have the two rich Texans. We might as well have Barney and Sadie here too. Why
I
not?
know.
Hell, bring back Sam from the grave.
Let's do it. Miss Brindle, come on. Mrs. Brindle, come on to the lobby.
So essentially, Jessica's now running through exactly what happened, and I think we even get a little flashback scene as per usual.
It all comes down to the carrot juice.
Yeah. I think it's a cute clue. Makes sense. It's
Yeah,
valid.
it's good.
Yeah.
And it keeps
I-
coming up too, so it's
Yeah.
not even hidden from the audience.
Mm-mm. But it feels like it could be totally inconsequential, right?
Oh, sure.
So okay, I'm gonna give this episode some credit. That's pretty tight. Pretty tight.
That's pretty tight. And immediately Ellison bails on the partnership that he and Kenyon
What
have
is
for this
this?
murder. He immediately bails.
There's no solidarity between these two men.
No. Well, that's the problem. Like no honor amongst thieves situation where they already didn't like each other. You
Yeah.
cannot be partners in crime with someone you don't like.
Absolutely not.
They were only working together for the common goal
Just to
of
keep their jobs.
neither of them. Yeah.
And treat rich people who don't need it. I
So
mean, honestly,
Ellison
what
is
a
in
cushy
fact
job.
the one who shoots him, though. So also, I would say Kenyon's the one who shot him. If I were Ellison, I would throw him under the bus too, because at least I'm just an accessory.
Yeah. Kenyon did the killing.
And the desecration of the corpse in the koi pond.
Wow, he just
Which
threw that
again-
in there, didn't he?
And again, I don't see any koi.
There's not a one.
Not a
So
one.
why are we talking about a heated koi pond when there are no koi in the pond?
The wrong season for them.
We have. Have you seen those video of koi jumping out of their ponds? That's what happened here.
See, they were like, "Oh, I'm out. I'm out.
They saw Kenyon coming over with Sam's body and were like, "Please,
Let's not
not
do
for
this."
me."
So yeah,
But then Ellison is the one who comes over and fires the other shot.
Yes, because they has to be neither of them.
Yeah.
That's how it has to be. But in fact, it is both of them.
Yeah.
So that shot outside the house is what Mrs. Brindle heard to mask the time of death.
Yeah. And Ellison also planted the gun. So this is maybe where that thing about the Chicago accent becomes a little contentious. Is Ellison is like, oh yeah, this was Mr. Ivy League's idea. So
Yeah.
he's more of a
Of the
working
streets.
class doctor. Yeah, that's a thing.
Working class doctor. It's my favorite Bob Dylan song.
Jeez.
But
Uh,
all's well that ends well. So the two doctors. So
Jenny's
who
off the
is
hook.
who is on staff at this hospital now? The head doctor is dead. The two associate doctors are going to prison.
Uh-huh.
Who is left?
Nobody's actually sick here, and that's why this is okay.
Martha Raye needs her leg taken care of so she can go
Yeah,
to Hong
yeah.
Kong in a month. Come on.
Yeah, and get some D.
Martha Raye gets some D.
She deserves Martha Raye
She
gets
need
some D.
she needs some Barney.
Love that.
So Jessica says goodbye to Nurse Jenny Wells, who owes
Hmm.
her freedom. Actually, maybe none of them have any irons or presses because everyone's a little wrinkled in this
I don't know. Maybe it's
episode.
the heat.
I think it's the heat.
It's that dry Texas heat.
Ah, yeah. So Jessica's as let him know she's not pursuing the airport. So I don't know who's paying for her hospital visit, frankly.
Truly,
But
truly.
since she solved the case, I think it would be really shitty of them to charge her, frankly.
Wouldn't that be wild?
But
The
she's all
biz.
good and she's ready to go home.
Yeah.
So we have a taxi waiting because she's going. Our lawyer here is going to take the case of Ellison and Kenyon. And Jessica's basically like, all right, I'll see you in court because she's going to.
She's gonna
So there we
because
are. We are
because
going to
she
get
got to
testifying.
testify. Yeah. He like really wants to be her friend, and she's just like, "You're not for me, sir. Bye."
Not remotely. Not
Yeah.
remotely.
Uh-uh.
Yeah.
I like
It
that.
ends
I
on,
like
on a
that.
fun little high note.
Yeah. I like
So did you
well, in
like
our
Armed Response just a little bit better than you thought you did?
I did like it a little bit better. I do think I was probably in a bad mood when I watched it. I still have problems with it.
Sure.
My number one problem is how quickly Dr. Ellison caves at the end of the episode. I mean,
Mm,
they barely say it was you two, and he's like, "You're right, it was." It's like y'all gotta stick to it. Come on.
no. He's just not committed. He's
It
just not
doesn't,
committed.
and his character in particular, like I don't really know anything about him, like what his feelings were, what he was motivated by, other than keeping his job, which is more
That's just
implied than
enough.
anything he showed. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
it's kind of a vacant character for me. Um, Maybe it's all the plastic surgery. I think it happened. I think
Allegedly.
it's on his
We don't
face.
know.
I'm telling
We
you.
don't know, Martin Kove. I'm sorry.
He's like, how dare these faggots?
Exactly.
Oh God. Anyway, yeah, I like it a little better. I still think a lot of characters didn't really they were really just set dressings, like the two rich folks. Um, Sadie and Barney are really just vehicles for laying clues down, but they don't get as much as I want them to. I liked Mrs. Brindle, the nosy game show playing neighbor, the best, in her
Yeah,
cute little
she's the fun
candy
one.
dress. Yeah.
She's a fun one.
Um, I Here's another thing. Our wrongly accused murderer, or I'm sorry, Nurse Jenny Wells. we- I have no idea who she is.
Mm.
I don't know why Jessica felt so compelled. Usually we get to know them a little bit and we care that they get off also. But I didn't know anything about her, so whether she was arrested or not, I didn't really care.
Mm.
She doesn't get a lot of
I
material.
I find that they give us care for her because she advocates for Barney and she's the only
Sure.
one who's paying attention to that. So I think that I mean you absolutely understand. I absolutely understand if you don't think that that is a successful
Yeah.
storytelling device. But I believe that that is the gravity that she's given by the writers, and I
Yeah.
appreciate it because she's sympathetic in that way because
Hmm.
she's clearly the wrong person for this job because everybody else is really just meant to cash the checks and say, yeah,
Hmm.
something's wrong with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's this deluxe package for something that doesn't really require that much
Sure.
care. Um, so that's my
It's a
interpretation of
good
her at the
point.
very
It's a good
least.
point. And I think any compassion I had for her comes from that. So they did the
Hmm.
job. Um, but I like to like the character that we want to save. And
Yeah, I get it.
she was
Yeah.
adorable. She was wearing a cute little nurse outfit,
That wasn't
driving a
enough for
cute little
you?
beetle. But it was like all style, all style, no substance. Um,
She is a sort of a placeholder character.
yeah,
Somebody
yeah,
has to be accused, and it might as well be her. It could have
hmm,
just as easily been Nurse Horton.
yeah, yeah,
It could have easily just have been, as you said, the Bakers. That would have been an interesting
yeah,
thing. They could have added something where Garver was not allowing them care,
hmm,
or maybe it was the husband because he didn't like that the doctors was taking advantage of them and that she was spending all the money. These
Right,
are
right.
other possibilities.
These could have been like avenues to go down and at least sort of cast doubt. For us as viewers, like we could have, I'm sure that there were scenes where we could have found space to make the Bakers potential suspects, like
Hmm.
actually potential suspects, or even someone like Barney as
Mm.
like an actual suspect. But no, it was always just the people at the hospital. It was either one of the
The
nurses or one of the
staff,
doctors, right?
the staff, other
And it ended up
staff.
being
Yeah.
both the doctors. Everybody else was just sort of around. And you know what I love is like that sort of trapped in one place, murder takes the bus setup where everybody is a
Sure.
viable suspect. And that just wasn't the case
Yeah.
here. And I think that's what bothered me about it. It wasn't fun to think like, oh, who did it? Who did it? They could have done it because of this, or they might be motivated because of that. But I didn't, I guess my own internal playing along game was unsatisfied. And that's why I found it really boring.
Mm. I
Yeah.
think it is interesting because of course it's the doctors. I think that's the thing, is
Yeah.
that is of course it's the doctors. But then they throw this curveball where they couldn't have done it because they were in the room arguing. So the storytelling device has to explain why the obvious suspects are in
Hmm.
fact the ones who did it.
Hmm.
And I think that that's how they're twisting it as opposed to
Yeah.
other episodes where it is not someone who's as obvious
Right.
because, or the obvious person didn't do it because there is no twist to find out how they really could have.
Right.
So I like the deviation in storytelling device in that regard as well.
Hmm.
Um, you were right though. This is a an episode packed with characters, as we've acknowledged a lot in this first season.
Hmm.
This first season has a
Yeah.
lot of characters per
Yeah.
episode,
Yeah.
and I feel that that's a case for much of the world building in this show. There are a lot of people that they show in each episode,
Yeah.
but in this episode particularly, many of the characters are not suspects.
Yeah. It lacks a little economy in the writing area that I
Mm,
love that I really appreciate in a lot of these episodes. Like the episode where Caesar, the artist, is murdered.
hmm
Love
hmm
that. Everybody's a suspect. Everybody's interesting, and this is just not the case. And not because nobody's they're doing their job. They're showing up and doing what's written on the page. But again, the nurses just don't get a lot. Even the doctors, even Dr. Kenyon and Ellison, don't get that much interesting material here.
mm,
Again, I think they're just spread out. There's too much. There are too many characters. And by giving everybody a little bit, we shortchange the people that matter and keep us
mm.
invested. So that's just my take.
Sure.
Um, I do like the clue. I do like the carrot juice clue. I think that's fun. That's clever and tight.
Hmm.
The recorder thing, that feels a little left field for me. Like, oh yeah, they must have had a tape recorder, and like, okay, I guess, sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, do you know what I mean? Like, it just
I
comes out of
do.
nowhere, the tape
I do.
recorder. So,
I just also love the idea, though, that Jessica and Lieutenant Jenkins had to record their
uh-huh,
argument the night
uh-huh,
before, just
yeah.
going back and forth for minutes because they wouldn't
Oh
have known how
yeah,
much time they needed.
yeah.
Which really tells you that I know that like Ellison says, oh, it's only like 10 minutes from the hospital to get to Garver's place,
Hmm.
but that means 20 minutes plus whatever time to be there, plus whatever time to get back. They must have had to record at least a half hour to 45-minute argument, which means
Yeah.
that they were arguing for 45 minutes in that room.
Can you imagine them with the recorder being like, okay, are you ready? Three, two, one, go.
Which also means that like
The subterfuge.
while Ellison was doing his chore, Kenyon was just standing there in the room with the tape recorder, like filing his nails. He like he
Yeah.
couldn't go anywhere. Like he had to make sure that nobody else came in.
He was probably doing push-ups. Did you see those arms? Yum.
Yeah, the stretch of belief is a little thin at times, but I
Yeah.
think as it goes, you don't think of those things unless you're deconstructing it like we are now.
I think that is the
Um,
problem. I think if I had
yeah.
been watching this as just like oh, let's put it on while I do some other things, I would have enjoyed it as much as anything else. But then as watching it, I'm like, wait a second, hold
Wait a
on.
minute
This
here.
does not hold up. No water here. Um, yeah. I still liked it more than sudden death.
Well, I mean, I think that that is our little, I mean, and that's just because it's not for us. It's not, that's not
Yeah, yeah,
subject matter that appeals to us.
yeah.
Um, but I have to say, even the Congress episode, which is not a favorite of mine either, at least gets me interested with other elements because I don't
Hmm.
care about the. I
Hmm.
find actually her talking about the cannery in that to be the most interesting part. The time we spend in Congress, actually, I find
Oh
to be the most
yeah.
interesting part because we actually hear
Yeah.
about like how the economy is working in Cabot Cove, and she's like, "No, y'all keep abandoning your properties and keep asking for new ones."
Yeah, she gets a little political.
Um, so I appreciate that in an episode that I don't particularly revisit
Totally.
frequently.
Totally.
But
By the way, they are in Texas because the license plate on that car said Texas.
there's so much
Confirmed.
Texas. This
Yeah.
is Texas, Texas,
It's so
Texas.
that we didn't know before. Shame on us. It's signaled constantly.
I think it also, so the episode title is Armed Response. Um,
Yeah, let's talk about that. Why?
because, well, interesting enough, so outside of Garver's house is a sign that indicates he has security. The security company is named Armed Response. And I think that that's an interesting, just odd little note there. But Armed Response is basically a military thing, isn't it? It's like SWAT teams. Like
I
that's
had
an
never
armed
even heard the
response.
term before, and granted, I don't really. Let me look it up. I don't
I think
really
it's like
think
when
that way, I guess.
when you get police or like we need an armed response, people who are going to
Yeah.
the scene with
Armed personnel are
guns.
called upon to
There you
end
go.
to address a threat or emergency, but that didn't even happen in this. I
Yeah, I
mean, I
think
know that
that
the security company went and found his body, but it
my
wasn't like
guess
a
is
SWAT,
it's based on the alarm tripping. That's what
I
they're going
guess.
for. That's
I
because
guess.
that is one of the clues is that the alarm was tripped so much later
Yeah.
than he must have been shot. It's an interesting choice for an episode that's
Yeah.
set in a hospital. Like there are
Yeah.
so many medical terms that they could have used, or like
Come
puns
on.
about her leg or something. Like
Like, come on, or Dr. Death or anything. Anything.
Doctor Death. That may have been a little on the nose, but
You think?
that
That's
may have given a
perfect.
little too much away. um, yeah, so it's interesting. I wonder if that was an early title and it just never got like an earlier draft or
Hmm.
something. I don't know.
Hmm.
It's just interesting to me. Uh,
That's fair.
but I think that's one
So
reason that when I think of this episode, I never remember the name of it because why the hell is it called that?
it's so nonsensical. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. Another gripe. No. I'm over the gripe. I'm in a much better mood now. What's this little thing on the bottom of her cast, by the way? It's like a little.
It's a little stopper so that it doesn't actually hit the floor,
Well, that's good.
so that when she walks on it, it's not putting pressure, I think.
Yeah. Have you
It
ever had a
does
broken
look
bone?
weird. Knocking on wood, no, I have never had a broken bone.
Same.
I
Same,
have
same.
never had a fracture, a broken bone, or I was not an active child in that way. Um,
Same.
so when it happens, and it will probably happen from the foolishness that I do on stage. I mean, again, knocking on several pieces of
Yeah.
wood,
Yeah.
totoy. Um, it will be at a point where they'll be like, "Well, that's just your life now," because I'm in my 40s, so my bones aren't as supple.
Drink that milk.
Exactly.
Um,
No, I've had medical emergencies, but never that. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. I've had like sprains and things, and obviously I had that drag injury injury that put me out for many, many months,
Oh
but never a
yeah.
broken bone. Never a broken bone.
I have had I've been told that it is very likely that people break toe bones
Oh,
frequently. Like
all the time.
if you stub, you probably did break something or
Yeah.
fracture something,
Yeah.
and you get the fuck over it real quick.
Hmm.
But if it hurts for more than a couple of days, you probably did break something,
Hmm.
and it's just doing that. So
Yeah.
maybe, but I've never been treated. Never been
Yeah.
treated.
Oh, 100%. These little piggies have been bruised and beaten
Yeah,
and broken. Yeah.
yeah. Uh,
Wait,
well,
I have the question. Did we
Hmm.
ever figure out why the nurse went to Dr. Sam Garber's house and why she was seen leaving? We
I believe, to talk about Barney.
like she's
He
very
wouldn't.
concerned about
She's
Barney.
very concerned about Barney. And that's the thing also, is that Barney, while I don't know if Eddie Bracken plays it quite as such, as a
Hmm.
depressed character, he could be meant to be suicidal. Like he
I'm
could
wondering
be.
too.
And
Yeah.
that, and maybe actually I don't disbelieve that by what he gives us, but it's distinctly possible that that was really the issue.
Yeah.
She's like,
Yeah.
"No, you're not treating your patient. You're not taking my phone call. Then I'm going to you to talk to you." So she knocks on his door. Nobody answers
Hmm.
because he's dead already, and she leaves. She's just in the wrong place at the wrong time. In fact, the doctors even say that they didn't plan to frame her.
Yeah.
They were going to have it be, I guess, a burglar.
I mean, I think that's what the murder looked like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like he got up
But as we
to
know, it's never a
investigate.
burglar. It is never a burglar.
No, except for what's her name? David Tolliver's sort of elderly.
Well, that's the
We
debatable
don't
too, because
know,
we don't
right?
know.
Was it
We
David
don't
Tolliver?
know.
Yeah.
Um, we don't know why she was killed.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's left open for
Hmm.
interpretation. But again, I don't even know if they go into if anything was stolen.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
don't really discuss
They
that. We don't
don't.
know what he's looking for, what
Yeah.
the mask, because he might be looking for things that actually remove his connection to her in some capacity, or
Yeah.
like some her will. I like we don't know. We
Sure.
don't know.
Well, in this episode, we
Uh,
could have that murder could have been set up a little better too, so that we knew what the killers were trying to make it look like rather than what it ended up looking like, because it was a little sloppy, right?
yeah.
Throw
I mean,
that
that's
body in
it.
the
This
pond
isn't
and
Cabot Cove. Amos always goes for a burglary. He
yeah.
always like, it's a burglar.
Well, must have been a burglar.
Nope, it's never a
Broke into the
burglar.
house and killed the man. No.
Well, partially it's never a burglar because this is also called Murder, She Wrote. So, but, but,
Wah, wah, wah.
uh, but on occasion it's not actually even murder if you really think about it. Some of these are manslaughter, some of these
Oh yeah.
are accidental, some of them are
Self-defense.
self-defense. Exactly.
Debbie
So
Delancey.
don't gone but not forgotten in our
Hmm.
previous episode.
Hmm.
Uh,
Any final
yeah.
thoughts? What do you think?
So I like this episode. So
Yeah.
I like the storytelling. I like the superfluous characters. I dig that. I'm actually about superfluous characters. I
All
enjoy
right.
that
All
element
right.
of this show. Because they give us these little moments, they give quotable notables,
Hmm.
and they add lore, they add dimension. Not every character should be vital, in my feeling.
I agree
Um,
with that.
I I like, and again, I like we should see characters in the in the hospital that don't have a direct connection to the murder, because that should be an unexpected event in these people's lives. It
Sure.
shouldn't necessarily be always a an island murder where everyone is brought to be killed.
Yeah.
It just so happens that this occurs while Jessica is there, while Sadie is there, while Barney is there. The
Hmm.
clue is incidental to the murder. So I dig that. I dig that.
Yeah.
Um, I understand why that's frustrating, and I have this arg I have not argument. I have this disagreement with my husband all the time about
Mm-hmm.
characters that don't necessarily mean anything,
Hmm.
or storytelling devices that don't go anywhere or open-ended. Um, yes, there are things that I would love. I There are times where I really wish Murder, She Wrote had been an hour show as opposed to a 43-minute, 48-minute show,
Yeah. Yeah.
like Columbo frequently was, because I feel that sometimes it is a little rushed and you can
Yeah.
see that there was more filmed, or you can
Yeah.
see that things were pushed to the wayside.
It's
Um,
it's in these episodes with a lot of characters
a
that
lot of
things get
characters,
sort
yeah,
of glazed over, which and you know that they have the because they're good writers, they have the ability to do it, but because they have to
right. And often good
cram it
actors.
into 48 minutes. Yeah.
Like I fully
Yeah.
believe the Bakers. I think that again they're there to illustrate quick points to give us
Yeah.
the vibe of this doctor. The
Hmm.
fact that this doctor invites his patients who go there to this cocktail party is also weird.
It is really weird.
Why are you inviting your patient? Like, so I think
Yeah.
if we're given these opportunities to understand the type of human beings that we're dealing with really quickly, um, episodes like this both allow you to really drill down and find motivations, and that's fun for me, but it also allows them to be waved by, and that's okay with me too. Like, so
Yeah.
I dig that. I personally dig that.
Yeah.
I love our one scene wonder in Mrs. Brindle, Lucille
Great.
Meredith.
Hmm.
It's fully believable. It's way committed. It's
Totally.
necessary for the plot.
Hmm.
Um, and I love a character actress, always have.
Me too.
And yeah, so I like
Especially like
I
an
personally
elderly
appreciate them.
character actress. Love it.
Yes, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Um, so yeah, I she also gives me like Imogene Coca vibes, the that particular actress.
Yes.
Maybe because also this episode also features Martha Raye and they play the cook and the Duchess in that Alice in Wonderland.
Well, that's fair. Yeah.
Uh, but yeah,
Did you
and
know
I
Martha
love
Raye also played a witch in HR Puffin stuff?
I did in fact know that.
Yeah.
Yep, I
Yeah.
did.
Great costume. Look it up if you're
Yeah.
interested. Great little purple getup.
Yeah, she's a pistol. She's there's some great stuff on. She's also Bertha in the concert record not concert, but like the live taping recording of Pippin with
Oh
Ben Vereen.
yeah.
She has the song No Time at All.
Hmm.
And it's a cameo role. She gets the and because
Right.
technically Bertha appears in crowd scenes masked in most productions. So like when Andrea Martin did it on Broadway.
Yeah.
Um,
Who was
but
delicious in it, by the
I
way.
bet,
I
I
happened to see her
absolutely
and
bet.
she was so good.
But in
Yeah.
this, it's almost like a guest appearance
Hmm.
in like a movie.
Hmm.
She's great in that. She's fucking great in that.
Yeah.
Um,
Cheers to
yeah,
that.
yeah. Check her out. She never quite made it as a Carol Burnett or as a Julie Andrews, but I love the fact that those people loved her and included her in their work and stuff. Like her
Totally.
and Judy Garland. It's fantastic. It's
Hmm.
fantastic. But she was sort of known as like the female Bob Hope
Right, right. What a
because she was
legacy too.
also big in the USO, big in the Hollywood, not
Hmm.
canteen, but like the Hollywood like support of the troops, which, you
Right.
know, is nationalism and propaganda, but in a very wholesome kind of way.
Yeah, it's on the scale. On the scale, it's a little
Uh,
a little more palatable.
yeah, yeah. So,
Okay.
but I mean, if I mean my
Respect.
yeah. So, and if in fact she was the inspiration for the Boys, that is also a great performance from Bette
Mm.
Midler. So I recommend that as well.
So thank you, Martha, for Beth's performance. Awesome.
So
Oh
yeah, so I
God.
like I dig it. Yes, this is something of a I hate to say it, but kind of a filler
I
episode.
was gonna say filler too, just like
Yeah.
Dr. Ellison's face.
You're so rude. Um, such a bitch. But that said, I think it's entirely palatable and I enjoy watching it. So
Awesome. I
all
like that.
for
I
it.
like this is maybe the first episode where we've actually been quite opposite in our takeaways.
We didn't necessarily agree on Deadly Lady either, because I don't love Deadly Lady and you
And I
really like
did.
Deadly.
I
Yeah.
really liked it. Yeah.
So, and I
Okay.
liked it
Fair.
better after we talked about it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
see, that's what this is for.
I like this bringing people together,
Oh.
walking children in nature. That's what we're doing here.
But that's it. That's us for
That
our
is it.
response. Come back next week where we will be talking about Murder at the Oasis with Piper Laurie,
I
and
love it.
it's so good.
This is another one of those like everybody's in one space
Yes.
story. Yeah.
And another bastard of a victim, uh, in
Totally
Joey
deserved.
Bishop. Yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely. A lot of
Yeah.
fun. That's another fun one.
Hmm.
Um, and bonkers at times, utterly bonkers at times.
There's a lot happening. Yeah.
And
And then
then
one more, and then
and
one
then the
more, and then
finale.
that's the finale. Yeah.
Yeah, which is a key episode as well, and kind of a downer, but
A little bit.
yeah, a little bit, but I'll
Yeah.
also kind of a lot of fun. There's a lot of really fun
Mm,
characters in that one too.
hmm.
So,
Hmm.
all right,
Yeah,
everybody.
these next two have some great guest stars to look
Yeah,
forward to. Yeah.
yeah, and some good storytelling, some good diversion, and
Absolutely.
and surprises and
Yeah.
surprises. I'm looking forward to talking to you about Murder at the Oasis, particularly about the killer, because the first couple of times I saw it, I had absolutely no idea why. It took me a very long time for me to watch that episode
Oh,
and go, "Oh, okay." Like I didn't
uh-huh.
understand the motivation. I didn't understand the
Fair.
motivation.
Got it.
So
It's a little convoluted, but in kind of a
it
fun way.
is.
Yeah.
But
And you
yeah,
have to pay
exactly.
attention kind of way. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah. All right.
Something to look forward to.
All right.
Sweet.
Follow us at Murder She Wrote Pod on Instagram.
Yeah. And
And
thanks to
like,
those who are submitting comments and engaging with us. They're so lovely and fun.
yeah.
We got a comment from somebody in Norway that was
Yeah.
just a treat. Thank you so much. We
Yeah.
love that
So
you're joining us here.
so person from Norway, thank you for messaging us too. Uh Kenneth. All right. I'm Victor Devon,
I'm petrified,
and this was in
and this
fact
is
tonight
Tonight on
on
Murder, She
Murder She
Wrote.
Wrote.
Boom, 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 boom.
This stuff really looks venomous.
We need a bass.
Always.